It's been a long day. Ugh. Good morning, everyone. It is 6:37 and it is 27 degrees. So in Celsius, I don't know, -5 or something. And it's, yeah, my bones hurt. I'm cold. I'm gonna be cold all day. I was cold all yesterday. The only thing that stops it is taking a hot bath. And then once I leave the house for the next day, I'm cold. But I'm gonna go in, start my day. Happy Tuesday. It's been a long day. It's 6:30 and I finally get to have a bath and like sit in a way that's not just like sitting in my car in the car line. But I'll update you after my bath. It's about to get loud. I really want to run it because I'm freezing as always. Alright everyone, I've had my bath and then instead of being responsible and going immediately to packing lunches, I knitted and I finished hat number 3 of 4. I just packed up a bag with all 3 of the hats that I've done so far, little scraps of yarn to sew the tags on. Except for the one I just finished, I just didn't weave in all the ends because I can use those tails to sew a tag on. And I put in the tag, scissors, my knitting needles, and 2 balls of yarn leftovers for the next hat. I hope it's enough. I don't know if it's gonna be. I grabbed a brown and a tan because I feel like it would match the coat of my 4th little kiddo. But today was a very long day. I saw you in my car on my way into work. One of our students was still out sick, so we had 2. Yes, we had 2. It's a totally different vibe without that one student there. Not easy, but a lot is easier. The worst that happened to me was some pinching, but I've been wearing a lot of layers because I'm so cold all the time. And yeah, just totally different vibes. If you worked in special education, you know, when somebody's out, it's totally different vibes. Even in gen ed, it might be not quite as drastic because you have a lot more kids, but it's there. But school went well. Sebastian, he has an IEP for his ADHD and he can get breaks. He's not really done that a whole lot, but this year he kind of has been joining another kid on his breaks who's in his class. And today he was on his own break. That kid wasn't here. I'm like, okay, as long as you're getting some work done. Then I saw him again, like right after. I'm like, how are you still on a walk? But it turned out he was going to an empty room to concentrate harder on his writing assignment because he was too distracted. And while he was there, I was coming back in from dropping off my kids to the bus and cars, and I let him tell me about his project, his paragraph, and he's like, please can I have lunch with you even though it's not Friday? I'm like, we'll see, probably. So I had gotten a text message from somebody in the office to come see her about a creative project. So I just kind of shuffled things around and I did a little bit of planning like usual, but then went to lunch at Sebastian's lunchtime. I beat him to the cafeteria. But he came in, he's like, oh, we can't sit in the hallway. There's somebody in it already. we don't mind if people use our pre-K table when we're not using it for like a parent visiting. It doesn't happen too often, but actually one of his friends had his dad there, so we couldn't use that. I'm like, oh, well, I don't mind sitting in here, it's fine. He's like, no, because I think the reason why he wanted to have lunch with me is he wanted some peace and quiet. He was just too overwhelmed. He was handling it like a champ and he wasn't that upset, but he really didn't want to be there. So I'm like, okay, I'll take you to my classroom. And now our classroom is shared, so as soon as we head out to lunch, it's occupied again, but we do have a little teacher area, and it's kind of like the Wizard of Oz. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. They do talk to us sometimes when they're right there, if we're in there early while they're still at Table Toys, which is right there. But I mean, we're at Table Toys a whole lot while they're at their desk, and we just do our best to mostly mind our own business. We don't care if you suddenly turn around and you're listening and you join in. It is what it is. But yeah, we have a little area, and I'm like, we'll see if we can. I just didn't put too much thought in it, and we just walked in. The PM kids were settling in for their lunch right inside the door, and we're all the way in the back corner. I'm like, hello, my buddy's here to have lunch with me, and they didn't even think anything of it. My teacher was there, and it's kind of a two-person space, but he's little, and I squished myself over as much as I can. Told him to pull over a stool. I said, see this line? This is my half of the desk right now. You've got to share this half with me. And we had our lunch, and she was so sweet about it. Totally didn't mind. I got him back, and then on my way back from dropping him back at lunch was the office, and it turned out the family liaison was interested in if I could paint like a mural on some windows, like plant themed and star themed. And I'm definitely interested, but I'm not sure if we can do windows. There was some talk of doing it on paper and just hanging it up. But yeah, I think she wants it to be a little more permanent than just window paint would be, because they have to wash the windows. So I do need to start throwing some ideas back and forth and see what we can do. But I was like, yes. She's like, what's your like specialty? I'm like, painting. Like, I'm a graphic designer, and I did printmaking mostly in college, but I've been a painter for years now, doing pet portraits and stuff. She's like, oh, you should be at our small business fair. I'm like, I don't even have time to paint except for this summer. She's like, you can do it to build up your clientele for summer. I don't know. I'm gonna be exhausted by summer. But yeah, that was a good little quick meeting. And then I went back to planning, and I was seriously falling asleep. Looking at my computer, like, for ideas, not actively doing something, is so tough when you're as tired as I am right now. Like, I've been tired since starting the job because it's exhausting, but then having all those, like, 2 weeks of pulling all-nighters. What do you even call it when you stay up for 42 hours and then you get a little bit of sleep, and then you do another 24 hours, and then you have a couple normal days, and then another 20. It was like, they say it takes a long time to recover, and I do feel like I'm still recovering. And my girl cycle is like, what the fuck? We don't even know what's going on. So I keep dealing with symptoms, and then it's like, wait, no. So I'm old enough for it to just be a delicate balance. So we're just gonna ride this one out for now until things are calmer. But yeah, made it through the day, and then I actually had like 15 to 20 minutes to get under my electric blanket and just like turn it up and try to warm myself up before I had to sit in my cold car in the car line, because I was like, we'll just do homework at dinner time. Sorry for that. There's a lot of ice in there. It makes me make funny noises trying to get to the water. So yeah, then car line, and I had to go pick up a prescription that's been sitting there, and I had till the 20th to pick it up, and it's like the 18th. And tomorrow I can't because of a doctor's appointment for Jax right after school. And I also had to go pick up hummus and pita chips to give to a baby shower at work tomorrow. So yeah, it was car line, CVS, the grocery store right there, straight home. And then it was already after 5, so it was time for me to start cooking dinner. So I went right into that. And we did homework while eating. We do that sometimes in phases, and I'm just reading things out loud, and I'm the one that's writing, and Sebastian is answering. And I feel like he really gets it. And this was a study guide, so that was really good to do that one out loud. And yeah, you know the rest, bath, and then knitting. So I'm gonna let you go because I just went over the 10 minutes. So good night. Stay safe, be kind, and don't forget, wash your hands.